We're going to do an oldie classic today. I want to teach you how to play Don Brewer's excellent Cowbell Groove drum fill intro to the song We're an American Band by Grand Funk Railroad. I have to be careful how to pronounce that because of my R's. You can download the free PDF for this intro, which I've created for you from my website. Just simply click the links below, and you can also check out the hundreds of other video drum lessons, PDFs and charts, also available at drumstheword.com by clicking the links below. To start off with, we're going to take a look at the Cowbell Groove first, and then we're going to do the drum fill later, and as part of that drum fill part, we'll be looking at some drum polyrhythms, so make sure you stay around to check that bit out later. Alright, let's crack on then. So the whole intro is in 4/4, meaning there are 4 counted beats to the bar, and the first 2 bars contain this cowbell drum groove that Don plays. And what he does is he plays his right hand on the cowbell playing quarter notes at 127 BPM. His right hand stays steady, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it's the bass drum and snare drum that dance around what the right hand is playing while this keeps steady. Now, if you haven't got a cowbell, you could use the bell of a ride cymbal, which is set to a weird ping effect on this particular setting. Anything high pitched to replicate that cowbell sound will be fine. So let's take a look at the first bar first. We've got a bass drum on beat 1, snare drum on beat 2, so normal standard quarter note drum beat, and then Don displaces the next part onto the and. So the bass drum falls on the and of 3, and the snare drum falls on the and of 4, in between the right hand cowbell note. So keep this steady, slowly sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that displaced feel continues into the second bar, where we start the bar with a quarter note cowbell, and the bass drum falls on the and of beat 1, and then to resolve it back to kind of a steady on the beat feel, Don then plays a snare drum backbeat on beat 2. You weren't expecting it to fall there, but it does. Well, most drummers probably were. Most musicians probably were, but for most listeners of music, you think, oh, that's interesting. Sort of, you weren't expecting this backbeat to move and then come back. It makes it kind of quirky and interesting. So we've got the snare drum backbeat back on beat 2, and then the last part of the second bar, cowbell, obviously continuing quarter note all the way through, as I've said many times. Bass drum falls on the and of beat 3 and the and of beat 4, and then the backbeat snare drum falls on beat 4. So that second bar sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Even slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 2 bars together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. Bit faster now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 sort of that was pretty much up to speed, but let's get the actual clip going. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully that little ping didn't put you off. Okay, let's now take a look at the next 2 bars, the sort of drum filly part of it. Okay, so for these next 2 bars, the drum fill part, Don takes advantage of an effect where you play groups of 3 through 16th notes. Now 16th notes, we can fit 4 in each beat of the bar. They're counted 1 eander, 2 eander, 3 eander, 4 eander, and we naturally fill them in groups of 2 and 4, hence 4 fitting to a beat. But when you play groups of 3 through 16th notes, it kind of goes against the beats of the bar and creates a really cool, interesting effect where the groupings don't quite fit or line up with every beat of the bar. And that can be a little bit tricky for beginner drummers to get used to. So what I want to do is just give you some ideas as how you might want to practice learning this. I think it's called the 4/3 polyrhythm, because we're playing 4 notes over the space of 3 counted beats. It could be the 3/4. I always forget the difference. It doesn't really matter. I just know how to play it, and that's all that matters to me. So to start off with, this makes sense later on, but just go with me for now. We're going to play a very simple rhythm on the snare drum, both hands together on beat 1, and then we're going to play left right on a 2, followed by the left hand on the and of 2, and then 3E, right left at the end. So very slowly that rhythm sounds like this. 1, a 2 and 3E and a 1, a 2 and 3E and a 1, a 2 and 3E and a. So notice that's 3 notes long, 3 counted beats, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a, and it's both left, right, left, right, left, both left, right, left, right, left, both left, right, left, right, left. Now the more advanced drummers may have guessed where I'm going with this. If you notice what my right hand is doing compared to the left hand, they're both keeping their own rhythms, independent rhythms going on. If I move the hands to the right cymbal, oh, it's going to be a cowbell, isn't it? You can hear that there's steady quarter notes going, and against it, the left hand is playing multiple notes. We can sort of get an idea of what the groupings of 3 sounds like against the quarter note being played up here. So, to start off, we just try and get that going. Play, I don't know, a bar of 4/4 time, and then go into this 4/3 polyrhythm. Something like this. So you get used to feeling the quarter note as independent, and you're able to switch between the 4/4 feel, straight on the downbeat, and then to this every 3rd 16th note feel. So you get an idea in your head of what every grouping of 3 sounds like against a pulse, in this case, the quarter note. And then as Don plays, he plays 1 snare drum note or 1 hand note with 2 bass drum notes. So he's filling in the space with the bass drum. Which is what makes this quite difficult, especially at the tempo he plays it. You've got to have a fast bass drum foot. Now, of course, you could use double bass drum. Don doesn't, so I'm going to use single foot as well. But if you really struggle with it, do double bass drum. Do yourself a favour rather than making it sound sloppy. And obviously, you could be working on your bass drum technique in your practice time in the meantime. Let's take a look at the first bar. And we've got this hand pattern moving through the 16th notes on 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So first note, right hand note starts up on the cowbell, and then the right hand moves down to the floor tom, and this is playing this every 1st 16th note. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and Don just simply fills in the bass drum notes, fills in the notes with the bass drum. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and. Or double bass drum. I felt weird for just half a second. And sort of up to speed. 1 E, 2, so feeling the pulse in this case. There's the right hand playing with the click, and then we're then leading in with the left. That snare drum pattern is going to be every group of 3. So quite fast. The second bar is exactly the same idea. We're playing a hand note followed by 2 bass drum notes. Every 1st 16th note, same thing, except we're going to be playing flams instead of these double hand pans around the tom. Starting on the snare, then the high tom, then the medium tom, then the floor tom, and then we move back to the snare drum for 4. And the last beat of the bar is just simply 2 8th notes played on the snare drum as flams, 4 and. So that second bar, I quite like this one because it has a nice melody effect. Sounds like this, slowly. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 and. Again, 1 E and a, 2 E. Don't really have to count it out loud. I don't want to confuse you too much with the counting because you'll just be feeling it, I think. At the tempo of the song, it's very hard to count. 1 E and a, 2 E. Actually, it's not that hard, but you don't need to. You can actually just listen to the song and learn it that way. So a bit faster now. Or double bass drum. Now let's put those 2 bars together. Let's play it slowly and let's try and play it against the click and hopefully not make too, well, actually I can't, can you? I have to slow it down. I'll do it in a second. Let me play it slowly without the click first. It's 2 bars together. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and Again, a bit faster now. And up the tempo. Again. And now let me try and play for you the whole 4 bars at a slow tempo. Here we go. I'm going to count myself in this tempo. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and... Hopefully that sounded relatively in time. That slower tempo, I find it's harder to hear that grouping of 3 through 16th notes. Maybe that's just lack of practice. Maybe that's not the case for you. Try a little bit faster now. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and then the actual tempo I recorded earlier on, so here's what that sounds like. Hope you found that fun, hope you found that enjoyable. Don't forget to download the free PDF showing you the actual intro in drum notation. Plus you can also check out loads of other cool stuff available from Drums the Word, such as my video packs, Drum Master Pack, ebooks, charts, all the good stuff that you can get from my website. Thank you very much for checking me out, and hope to see you soon. Happy drumming to you.